I call to order the Board of Mayor and Alderman for Monday, January the 8th, 2024. This evening, I don't believe we have our pastor with us, but if you would please stand and join with me in prayer, and I'll lead us in the pledge. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight in thankfulness in our hearts for all the blessings you always bestow upon us. We ask for your guidance this evening in our deliberations. Please help us to do the things that be pleasing in your sight. We come with heavy hearts tonight due to the recent loss of our member of our city staff and one of our long-time citizens, Ms. Collier. These things we pray in your name. Amen. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. See recorder, do the roll call.
Ellis.
Here.
Almacher.
Here.
Berry.
Here.
Glick.
Here.
Mann.
Here.
Mathis.
Here.
Wilson.
Present.
7 present. This evening, you notice a little bit of a different arrangement around the podium tonight. We have with us tonight a couple of young citizens that we're so happy to have with us, a couple of honorary aldermen that we have with us tonight. I'll introduce them briefly and then go to them later let them do a little more about their bio and their background and what they're doing at the high school. But we have first Ms. Charlotte Ponder, honorary alderman, senior in high school. Glad to have you with us tonight. And Mr. Brady Welch, who is the honorary alderman and also the president of he's the mayor of the Mayor's Youth Council. Thank you for serving. With that, I'll do a presentation to you when you do your presentations tonight. I have a plaque I want to present to you. We'll do that when you do your presentation. So tonight, as I mentioned in my prayer, we have a loss of our citizen, a staff member, Scotty Robertson, who's been on our staff now for 3 or 4 years and passed away this weekend. And also I want to announce the passing of Ms. Marjorie Collier. Ms. Collier was an alderman from 1997 to 2003, served 2 terms as alderman here. So with that, I'd like to pause for just a moment of silence in their memory. Thank you. Tonight, we'll move right on into the comments from citizens, and if you're a citizen who would like to speak up to 3 minutes on anything before the purview of the board, please come to the podium, state your name, address, and you'll be allowed for 3 minutes.
Brian Skelton, 105 Blantonwood Drive, here representing Tullahoma Utilities Authority. Mayor Noes, Tullahoma Alderman, City Administrator Quick. I'm here representing TUA and asking for the BMA to give consideration to a small change in the city charter that is proposed for the state legislature to consider. The BMA has made numerous changes to the city charter, but I'm only speaking regarding 2 very minor changes to the proposed language, which each of you received from me by email on Friday. I also was able to discuss this with the majority of our BMA members. Previously, TUA was referenced in the city charter on board member removal, which required removal for formal named causes and also allowed for a hearing with a 10-day notice. That language has all been stricken in the proposal for the BMA. TUA is asking that the BMA consider removing the reference to Tullahoma Utilities Authority in Section 14 and also remove the sentence referring to the TUA language in Section 8, referring to Article 2, Section 14 of the City Charter of Tullahoma. BMA members would still have the right to remove TUA board members for cause. TUA is a unique entity as we are taxpayers, not tax receivers from the city. We try to operate our state-approved authority as a business, as our board oversees more than a $50 million budget annually. Our board members are appointed for a 5-year term, having eligibility for a second 5-year term should the BMA choose to reappoint them. Our board members sometimes have to make decisions that are not popular with our customers, many of who are your constituents. Rate increases to operate the utility properly. Fees on developers to keep our local growth from being funded on the backs of all of our existing ratepayers. Condemnations to expand utilities. TUA board members need to have the assurance that they can make sound business decisions without worry of the BMA removing them without cause. Unrestricted removal powers could lead to undue political influence, with TUA board members possibly feeling pressure to align with the interest of the appointing body rather than acting in the best interest of TUA and its customers. Members appointed to the TUA board often bring or develop expertise that's critical to their roles, and that could be lost, a significant loss of knowledge, and disrupt the continuity needed for the effective decision-making that they have. 20 more seconds. Public trust in the TUA board is crucial to its legitimacy. Arbitrary removals can erode trust in the system, causing skepticism about the motives behind such actions and leading to decreased public confidence. I hope that each of you will give consideration to either adding this to the agenda tonight for consideration and a vote, or add it to your agenda at the next board meeting for consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Skelton. Someone else like to speak on the citizens' comments?
Mayor, Board, my name is J.T. Northcutt. I'm a resident, 129 Cumberland Trace. I'm currently the board chair for TUA. I'm full support of the proposal that Mr. Skelton made. Tell you that these board members for TUA, the 5 years, there's training requirements that each one of these board members have to keep up. So when you come to be a board member, there's knowledge you bring to it, hopefully, but there's certainly a amount of knowledge that you accrue from the trainings and the things you have to continue to have. The disruption of a board member, and let me say this, I'm certainly, you certainly need to be able to remove people for cause. So that's not, and I think you already have that in your bylaws. But the disruptive presence of removing someone without cause justified could be detrimental to the operation of TUA. TUA has a great history. TUA has been recognized nationally over the last 3 or 4 years for what it brings. And so I would hope this board has a high level of confidence in those they've appointed. And again, I just fully support and think that the proposal that he made is reasonable and needs to be really heavily considered by this board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Northcutt. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak on citizens' comments? If not, we'll close the citizens' comment and move into the approval of the agenda. Need a motion to approve the agenda? Motion from Barry. Need a second. Seconded by Wilson. And with that, I would like to ask to amend the agenda to move the beer board, I'd like to adjourn the Board of Mayor and Alderman and go into the beer board first. And that we have a couple of people here tonight on the beer board that we could, since they came early, well, maybe we'll let them depart early. So I need a motion for that amendment to the agenda.
Mayor, I think that you can do that without a motion, because it's a separate entity. So you can just adjourn and then go ahead and do it.
We can do that.
I'll second it.
Got a second. Anyway, with that, we'll adjourn the beer board, adjourn the Board of Mayor and Alderman and call to session the beer board. And with that, with the beer board, do we have any public comments that we'd like to make before the beer board? Hearing not, I'd like to get a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion from Barry, seconded by Mathis. Ready to vote on the consent agenda.
Oh, sorry.
That the vote is, approved. Agenda is approved. Consent agenda is approved 7-0. With that, moving into the unfinished business. Unfinished business is to bring back to the agenda a beer board request for the application on premises permit for Stars Tobacco LLC, 811 East Lincoln Street. This is Mr. Rodney Amberdock will be the manager in charge of beer sales. Need a motion on the floor?
Is he here?
He is here. Would you please come forward, tell us what your plan is? Speak into the microphone and state your name and address.
Romani.
Okay? And you're going to be Stars Vape and Tobacco at
Yes, sir.
811 East Lincoln?
Yeah.
Have you operated there before? Have you sold beer before?
Yes.
Where did you sell beer before?
Maybe a mortgage is 215.
Will you speak up a little bit, please?
215. 7 years of work right now.
And when was that? What was your,
Springveld. Springveld.
okay?
Yes.
Okay, have you read our beer board policies for Tullahoma? Have you read our policies and procedures for selling beer in Tullahoma?
Speak English at Strawberry Man.
Does he have a copy? Have you read it?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. How old do you have to be to have a beer license to sell beer?
21.
21.
21.
To sell beer, how old do you have to be to own the business?
21.
That's 18.
No.
Okay, so you have sold beer before, and you're familiar with the penalties of underage sales.
And no underage you sell. You just 21 and old for a beer.
What do you have in process to ensure you don't sell to underage?
A chicken ID.
Understand that?
Check the ID.
Check ID.
Check ID, how do you check?
He can come. He can come.
Face and press there, bro.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like this one.
are all of your licenses and fees been paid? So they have. Okay, and you're familiar with the rules and procedures? Okay. Well, thank you, Ed. We need a motion. We've got a motion and a second. Any further questions comments from the board? Now we're ready to vote. Okay, we passed that 7-0. So you have been approved.
Congratulations.
Thank you for bringing your business to Tullahoma. There's no other unfinished business. Moving into new business. Request to approve beer permit on off premises of tobacco and beer, 405 West Carroll Street. Mr. Brandon Wild will be the manager in charge of beer sales. Mr. White, are you here?
This is the wrong one. This is
Okay,
the
you wanna-
different one.
Bring a motion.
Is that the same?
Oh.
Motion,
This
Clay?
is Star Vape.
That was what we
Seconded.
just did.
Yeah, I felt like that was the one we just did, right?
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's Stars and Baits.
Okay, have you received a copy of our beer board, beer sales, our booklet that we have, that describes all the rules and procedures for selling beer in Tullahoma?
Yes, sir.
You've read that? You understand that? Do you understand the penalties for selling to underage minors?
Yes, sir.
Have you sold beer before?
For me, I sold it, I have store in Lebanon.
Will you be the person in charge of beer sales?
725 East, the main street, Lebanon.
Okay,
Lebanon.
I stayed like a year, then I sold it, then I came here in Tullahoma.
okay. Thank you for coming here. Can we have a motion in a second?
This does have the wrong name, but it's the correct agenda.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
So we're good to that.
Ready to vote? That passes 7-0, so you are approved.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are all welcome to stay for the remainder of our meeting, but you're not required. There being no other new business, we will adjourn the beer board and go back to our regular agenda for the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. We'll start with our reports from our aldermen, and we'll start with Mr. Mathis, Alderman Mathis. Tell us what's been going on since our last meeting.
Mayor, we didn't approve the agenda.
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't.
We did it.
We talked about it in adjournment.
We adjourned before we got to it. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
We're stuck.
I think we've got it.
Yeah, we're stuck still.
You're stuck?
Yeah. It's still in the beer board.
It says approve agenda, Daniel Berry and Bobby Wilson.
Yeah, mine says motion and second, like we're ready to
Yeah.
go
I
to
think
the
that
vote
was-
screen.
Those were your emotions.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, we just didn't vote.
We just didn't vote. Gotcha.
Okay, we're ready to vote on approving the agenda then. The agenda is approved 7-0. With that, we'll go into our reports from our alderman. Alderman Mathis.
Mayor, other than Alabama getting beat,
Had a close game.
yeah, and I have to sit beside a Michigan guy.
Oh, no.
He wears all of his clothes tonight.
Well,
But other
thank
than
goodness
that,
for
I'm
that.
okay, and I have no report.
Alderman Berry.
Go Blue. We got
Thank you for
two.
your report.
Go Blue. Now, we also had a birthday here on the 2nd. Jerry turned 40-something.
Yeah.
So happy belated birthday to Jerry. That's my condolences to Scott's family and Mr. Collier's family. It's always tough. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Alderman Glick.
Also like to wish my condolences and wish everybody in town a Happy New Year, and I have no further report.
Wilson.
Thanks, Mayor. I'd like to just give a couple updates from the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center. There's going to be some upcoming classes on January 11th. These are all how-to classes. So there will be one on coasters. January 25th, there's a rope bowl. January 19th and 26th, painting days gone by. And January 20th and 27th, the winter oval. And then also, I had the honor of attending the Wreaths Across America, which is a thing that is sponsored by the Girl Scout Troop 2163, for placing wreaths on the on the veterans' graves in the Maplewood Cemetery. That was a fantastic program, and right now they are collecting donations for this coming year in 2024. If you donate before January 15th, then there's the opportunity to double the amount of your donation. So that's be a great help if you choose to donate to them. You could drop those off at the South Jackson Performing Arts Center, Greg Gressel. And so that's also Friday, January 19th at South Jackson Performing Arts Center. You'll have the opportunity to see comedian Henry Show. And I believe that there's the two, he's performing twice on the 19th, once at 7 p.m., once at 9 p.m. And the first showing, I believe, is sold out, but don't hold me to that. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thanks.
Alderman Van.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Nothing new to report, really. I did attend the Wreaths Across America with so many of you on this board. But I'd like to take some of this time to thank and acknowledge some outstanding folks in our community and their work over the holidays recently. Pastor Donald Smith of the Greater Faith Community Church and his congregants prepared and delivered several hundred meals the Saturday before Christmas to needy families in Tullahoma. Lane and Evelyn Curley's Christmas morning efforts, where over 200 volunteers and hospital food service staff prepared, packed, and delivered 544 meals to Tullahoma residents. Also, I was able to work with David Statham and the Family Food Ministry, where we distributed to over 600 families on the Friday before Christmas. It's an amazing group of people. If you don't know about their efforts, they're the ones at the Nazarene Church on Friday afternoons. They love what they do, this group. They're very hardworking. They do this every single Friday, and if you could ever volunteer, please do. It's really amazing to see what they do over there. And I also want to mention Gloria Dameron and Come to the Table and their work every Tuesday providing meals for those in need as well. I'd encourage anyone who has a Tuesday evening or a Friday afternoon free to consider lending a hand and seeing what great work all these folks do. I know they would appreciate it, and I want to personally thank these citizens for their efforts and stepping up to serve an important need in our city. That's all I have.
Thank you. Alderman Allmarker.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Wish to offer my sincerest condolences to the Robertson family for their loss. And to piggyback on what Ms. Wilson and Mr. Mann said, there's also a group of individuals who have continued to put together this Tullahoma Winter Shelter Project. And considering there's going to be some extreme cold this week, I thought I might just want to make it publicly known that January 7th through January 14th, there's shelter from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. at Trinity Lutheran Church this week. And then after that, it goes to First Presbyterian Church for a week. So there's several churches in town who are taking that on and on a rolling interim, and I believe they were raising some money for some cots and some different things. So if you're looking for a way to give back to your community and want to help, there'll be a need there. Also, I spent a lot of the holiday season under the weather, but it has me thinking about, one of the greatest blessings in life is our health, and how I think a lot of us take that for granted. And I wanted to take a moment to remember a classmate of mine who passed away this week some years ago when she was 19 years old. She was a year ahead of me, actually, and you'll probably remember her, Daniel, Whitney Tuck. And it is my understanding that she had cancer, and there's a memorial garden. I was speaking with her mother, who's been living in Florida for about since 2012 now. There was supposedly a memorial garden that I knew nothing about at Tullahoma High School, and that it needs some TLC. And I would love to get a group together and maybe involve some of our high schoolers, see what you guys can find out about that memorial garden. Whitney would light up any room that she walked into. She was such a social butterfly and just a genuine person. And Daniel, I'm sure you remember her and can recall that. And I spoke with her mother briefly this week and told her that I would make a special effort to try to get out to the high school to find out about the Whitney Memorial Garden and make sure that it was doing well and was in good repair for the spring. So anybody who'd like to help me with that, I'd really appreciate it. And that is my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. At this time, we'll turn to our honorary alderman. We'll start with our Charlotte Potter. Ms. Potter, tell us a little bit about yourself and what's going on at the high school in your world.
I'm a part of the Tullahoma High School Band, NHS, FBLA. I think that overall our high school is doing really well with some things, but I feel like we have a lot of room to improve things like the construction, lots of leaks in the ceiling, and employment too. We lost a math teacher, but overall I really enjoy my high school experience. I feel that our clubs are very well off, and yeah.
Thank you very much. Are you making all A's?
A's and B's.
Oh, so far? Are you having fun?
Yes.
All right, then what else could you ask for? Bree, tell us about yourself. You've got quite a bio, so tell us a little bit.
My name's Brady Welch. I'm an 18-year-old senior at Tullahoma High School this year. I'm a member of the Tullahoma High School band as well, but I also run track and cross country at Tullahoma High School. Track season's starting up soon. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm a member of a few school clubs, Mu Alpha Theta, National English Honor Society, and I'm the president of the National Honor Society and our school's FBLA chapter. I'm the mayor of the Mayor's Youth Council here. I'm very excited to get to be at this meeting. It's really interesting to get to see one in person like this. But high school's been fun for me. Past few weeks we've been on break, and I've also been a little bit under the weather during this break, but you know, I agree health is really important, and I'm getting better now, so I'm looking forward to going back to school and getting to see what's been going on. So.
And I'll ask you the same question. Are you making all A's?
Yes, sir.
So far?
So far.
And having a great time?
Yes, sir.
What more could you ask for senior high school? If each of you would join me.
Mayor, can I ask him a question real quick?
I don't know. We've got a ball game tonight.
I know, but offhand, do you recall who the first mayor of the Mayor's Youth Council was? I think, is he sitting in this room?
I think he is. My dad, Darrell Welch, out there was the first mayor of Mayor's Youth Council, so it's really interesting that I'm getting to be the mayor this year as well.
Wow.
Is Darrell your dad?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. All right, now back on schedule.
Alderman Berry, thank you for bringing that to our attention. If
Jerry
each of
will
you
be
would
telling
join
stories
me
about
at
how he
the-
whooped him.
If each of you would join me at the flag over here, I'd like to get a picture. Just so you get the recognition.
I couldn't let you just walk out of here without.
Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations. It's great to have our honorary alderman back with us. As for my report, I'd like to particularly make it known that I have scheduled a study session for Tuesday, January the 16th. That's a Tuesday after the Planning Commission meeting on January the 16th. The study session will be starting at 5:30 to discuss the employment agreement for the city administrator position. That'll be the agenda for that evening. In addition to that, I'll just report that, yes, I did participate in the Reads Across America. That is a wonderful program. It was promoted for Claude Morris for a while, and sorry to lose that important person in our city as well. Attended the airport board. I attended the TML policy committee that I'm on on that board, and that was on the 14th of December. The Planning Commission was on the 18th, TUA board meeting on the 19th, and we had a open special call meeting on the 20th, so December was a fairly busy time. So with that, I'll turn to our city attorney for his report.
Happy New Year, all y'all. First of all, I'd like to bring to your attention and to grant my condolences to the family of Marjorie Collier, the mayor mentioned her a moment ago. I've known her for many, many years. She was truly a remarkable woman. She served 2 terms on this board. She also served a term on the Tullahoma Utilities Board. When it was that, she was the pillar of the Tullahoma Historical Society and was basically the publisher of the Tullahoma Timetable, which is a historical account of things that have happened in our town for many, many years. So I had the privilege of visiting with her family this evening, and I think that she's someone that we ought to maybe honor her in some manner for all of her contributions to our community. Secondly, you'll be happy to know that the committee finished all of their work relative to the charter revisions, and they were sent certified mail to Senator Bowling, Representative Bricken last Tuesday morning, which would have reached their offices before their session began this week. So they're there in their hands now, and they will move forward with that. We're now beginning to work on the preparation for the delinquent tax collection suits that we'll be filing by the 1st of March. We're beginning our title searches now. Ms. Ashby's been helping us with those, and with the lady that works with me in those things, getting the title searches ready. And I wanted to say that next Monday night, the 15th of January, there will be a meeting at D.W. Wilson from 4 to 6 o'clock relative to the long-range plans for the tree board and the downtown planning committee. J.P. Kraft is letting out bids on the new plannings for downtown. We'll have a report about that. A number of you will get emails from me asking you to attend and to be willing to make a report to us and to pledge your services and your influence toward bringing those things into fruition. We're working on some matters now, research matters that Mr. Quick has asked me to look into, and you got a report lately that we successfully concluded a lawsuit brought against the city by one who was aggrieved by the actions of our codes department, and that's been successfully concluded, and it's now been dismissed.
Thank you, Mr. Parsons. City Administrator, Mr. Quick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before I begin my report, I'd like to have Chief Pearson come and give us an update on the toy drive as far as the results of that, if you will.
You're up.
Since I didn't bring my numbers completely with me, but this year we were able to collect enough money to take care of 146 families within our community. That was a total of 336 children that we were able to help them with Christmas this year. We had a lot of effort from the community, the citizens, a lot of great donations. We appreciate it so much. Without our community and the people that we have here within our community, we couldn't bring this to these children. Being able to touch their lives and give them something that they might not have gotten. So. Thank you.
Right. I would also, as former principal at Tullahoma High School, I would like to say I can't think of 2 better students to have on this Alderman board than the 2 in front of us, and just want to say thank you for your willingness to participate and to serve. I've condensed my my list of report to you, or my list of activities to report to you, and try to stick with this ball game that we're looking for. Sue Wilson and I had the honor and pleasure of meeting with TUA officials at the invitation of Brian Skelton, conducted a tour of all of the facilities, and it really gave us a really strong understanding of all the behind the scenes that goes on and the investments they've made to serve the city of Tullahoma. We did have the city employee Christmas party. All of you were able to attend. I appreciate you coming. I know the city employees were very thankful for the gesture that the city made on their behalf. I also want to shout out to Lulu's for an outstanding meal that they put together for us. Last week, I was able to meet with the Chaplains Association at the hospital. We're looking at expanding the chaplain service, not only to our police department, but we're looking to have it for all of our departments, where the chaplains are going to be able to spend more time with our employees, learning about their needs as well as the needs of our community through those different departments. So we're going to be looking at putting together a sort of a schedule and a program format of what that would look like, and hopefully we'll have that that I can share with you soon. Was able to attend, along with Mayor Noes, the Motlow legislative update last week. Was able to spend time with Rush Bricken and a few other of our county officials and state officials, learning more about what Motlow is doing as well, and what they're looking to do as far as adding new programs to hopefully increase I guess, residency and business within the city. Lisa Shepard, our HR manager, is going to be working with me on personnel regs review with the consultant. That will be next week, so we're looking at that. We've also started talking in our leadership Tullahoma meetings of all the department heads. We are putting together a plan of how we're going to update our ordinances and have that done by the end of June to have for you to look at as well. So we're going to have that, hopefully start working on that in the next several weeks. I had the pleasure on Saturday of attending the Tullahoma Fire Department agility test for recruits. We had 6 recruits that came in, one from out of Colorado, to go through the agility test, and it was something to behold, to watch not only the applicants go through those drills, but to watch our firemen, the support that they have. I can't tell you, Kenny, how many were off duty that day, and they all came to support the applicants, and it was just a great example of the culture that the fire department has, that we've had a lot of responses from those applicants since then saying they want to be a part of that. So I was very, very impressed with that. An update on our police search. The search will end, or I'm sorry, the application process will end on the 15th. Beginning the 16th, I will begin reviewing applications according to a matrix along with our consultant. And we're still on track to have 5 candidates, up to 5 candidates identified to go through an interview process that would begin in mid-February, with the conclusion naming a chief no later than the end of February. So we're definitely on track with that. 2 last things. I have applied and been accepted to the Tennessee Certified Public Manager Program. It's a 12-month program that at the end will allow me to become a certified public manager. It'll be a monthly meetings that we'll have, but also there's a lot of, as you all can imagine, a lot of online work and whatnot to be done, but I'm looking forward to starting that next week. And then last, but definitely not least, our finance department has won the GFOA, which is the Government Financial Officers Association Award for 22-23. They win this every year. Considered to be the highest award for transparency in governmental accounting. And I know it's kind of like a certain football team that may win championships every year, and they kind of get tired of gathering trophies, Coach Mathis. Sue and her department are the same way. They know that when they put that document together, that without a doubt they're going to get an award for that, and that's due to the process and procedures they put together, so they know exactly what needs to be there in order to reach this plateau. I just want to say congratulations to them. We're going to be looking to honor them with a lunch and maybe some other things, but just to say thank you. They're a great example again of things that are done behind the scenes that makes this city run, and I can't think of another department that supports our city as well as what Sue and them do. So just wanted to say that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Quick. Let's move to the consent agenda. I'll note that all items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and are acted under one motion. So at this point, I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. On the consent agenda is simply the minutes from the December 11th and December 20th meetings. That's what's on there. Motion by Barry, second by Mr. Willett. Discussion. Ready to vote. Consent agenda is approved 7-0. Moving into unfinished business. I'll read the caption. An ordinance number 1616, an ordinance to amend the code of the ordinance of the city of Tullahoma, repealing chapters 2, evacuation curb cuts of the Title 16, streets and sidewalks, in its entirety, and adopting a new chapter 2 for excavations and curb cuts. So this is for passage on the second and final reading. Motion from Barry, second by Mann. Discussion. Ready to vote. It's approved 7-0. Ordinance number 1614, an ordinance to adopt a new charter, Title 9, business peddler solicitors, etc., Chapter 8, mobile food vending, Title 9 of the City of Tullahoma, Tennessee, is set forth in the Tullahoma Municipal Code. This is for second passage on the second and final reading. The motion by Barry, second by Blake. Any discussion? Ready to vote. It's approved 7-0. Ordinance number 1617, an ordinance to amend the zoning map of the City of Tullahoma set forth in Tullahoma Municipal Code zone to rezone parcels located at 708, 708, 706, 708, 712 on South Atlantic Street. That's from neighborhoods, from general commercial C2 to neighborhood commercial C3. Passage on the second, final reading. Motion by Barry, second by Wilson. Discussion. Ready to vote. Passes 7-0. Item number 2403 is a item for discussion only. It's in lieu of a study session on ordinance number 1620, an ordinance City of Tullahoma to adopt a new section, Chapter 2 in the Board of Mayor and Alderman General Administration, Section 1-2710, establish term limits for the mayor, board, and mayor and alderman of the municipal code. Alderman Hamacher, you recognize.
I put this back on here just strictly because I don't have the authority to add a study session. Only the mayor can do so. But I would like to get a date locked down for us to discuss this. Obviously, the earliest that something like this could take place could be if the charter is passed for the November election. The way that, for informational purposes, the way that something like this would work is we must adopt this by ordinance on 2 readings of a 2/3 majority, and after which it will go on the next ballot as a political question or a referendum. And it will go to the Tullahoma City voters. So because for a political question or a referendum, you have to have 75 days notice to the Election Commission, obviously we would not be able to make that deadline by the March election, but we very well could make the deadline by the August election if this is something that this board would like to pursue. Now, I wanted to bring this up just for discussion purposes and to try to hammer down a date, which does not have to be in the immediate future, but was hoping maybe February, March, if everybody could be looking at their calendars, to make sure that we do get this passed within the 2 readings and can get, and because there may be more discussion on this that needs to be had about what specifically are the term limits. Are those going to be different for aldermen? This is not just a Jenna Allmacher, I think it should be bam, and that's it, and no negotiation. This is sincerely something that I feel that, you know, the torch of power has to be passed, and I think that we can overstay our welcome in these seats, and I feel that it's necessary for us to pass that torch to the next generation, and preparing, you know, people like the Mayor's Youth Council to come into these positions at earlier ages, I think is crucial, and getting our young people involved. And so I don't think that it needs to be life sentences up here, whether for any board members on any committees or on this board as well. And for some of us, it kind of has been many years that we have served, and I think that I'm very grateful for the people who have chosen to devote their lives and careers to serving the city. Don't get me wrong, but I would like for this to encourage others to have the opportunity and to incite them to to take part in their civic engagement. So, what do you guys think about hammering down a date? Anything?
Barry, you recognize?
Yeah, I don't understand what the question is, because we made a motion that in the minutes that we just voted on. A motion to postpone was made by Barry and seconded by Mann, that it would be held no later than, possibly before or at the study session in January that we're having next week. So this shouldn't even, I don't understand what the question is.
We don't have a date is the reason.
It was, if we go back and watch the video, it was supposed to be whatever the date that the
I agree.
discussion on his
That's the
contract
reason.
was. And we
Right.
have a date on that. It's in this meeting. So it should be in that January 16th study session, because that's what the board voted on.
I agree.
So there shouldn't be,
So let's put it on.
so let's just get it, it's on the 16th. It's done. That was what we voted on.
So it was either on or before that? So that was
No
my
later
question,
than
is
or
because I
at.
haven't heard of a date yet, so I put this back on the agenda because we haven't been notified of
Yeah,
a date.
that's what we voted on together. And
Okay.
I think that passed 5-2.
Okay, so January 16th, we will also be discussing, it'll be a 2-item study session? Can we do that?
Can be.
Yep.
That is fine with me. Thank you for the clarification.
Mr. Mayor, if I might, please. I'll reserve most of this discussion until the study session, since we're going to do this, but I've done some research on this, and I'll do more before the study session next week, but under Tennessee Code annotated that's been referred to in the discussion here, 63110, the city of Tullahoma does not have the legal authority to have referenda on issues of this kind. We are not a mayor-alderman chartered city. We're a private act city, and there's nothing in our charter that allows us to have referenda. There are only a limited number of matters that can be submitted to the voters by referenda, and this is not one of them. So we could perhaps enact term limits by ordinance, but we couldn't, under our present situation, have a referendum about that. We'll discuss it more fully, but you just keep that in mind for the study session.
Well, Mr. Worthing, you'll be able to expound on that in more detail at our study session?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, we'll move right along to new business. Consider a request from the Tullahoma Police Department to authorize the surplus of the 2017 Jeep Wranglers been forfeited to the city of Tullahoma by the Safety Department for Tennessee Department of Safety. And the motion on the floor by Gary, seconded by Mathis. City Administrator, your background on that?
Yes, sir. I have asked Interim Chief Chase Sons to come forward on the next two items, 2404 and 2405, to provide us with information.
Just wanted to explain these two items in a little further detail. The Tennessee Department of Safety awarded the Tullahoma Police Department a 2017 Jeep Wrangler as a result of a seizure from some collaborative efforts with our CID department and patrol. That would be through trafficking of narcotics and weaponry. So we were awarded that along with around 40,000+ in cash. The reason we're asking for the surplus is we're not going to be able to use that vehicle on patrol. It's not feasible for a patrol vehicle. So we're looking to surplus that and place that on gov deals somewhere and collect the cash from that.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Ready to vote? Passes 7-0. Item number 2405, consider the request from Tullahoma Police Department to authorize surplus of 3 inoperable Chevrolet Impalas. City Administrator.
Yes, again, I would ask that Interim Chief Sons address that, please.
So back around August, late August, early September, we began looking at our inventory of our vehicles that were inoperable. Discovered we were paying insurance on some of them we weren't even able to drive. So these last 3, they will take care of all of the inoperable vehicles, and we can have those crushed. We can collect the money from that, put it back into our program that would go toward the purchase of new vehicles. That would be at no cost to the city on the tow bills, all that stuff. That will all come from the crushing of those vehicles. So once we clear that up, we'll only have three from the older fleet left, but those are still on patrol. We're still using those for the time being. So that should clean up our inventory.
I like it. We're cleaning out the basement, I feel like. It's good.
I like not paying insurance on it. Thank you. Any further discussion? Ready to vote? Passes 7-0. Item number 2406, consider a request to authorize the city administrator contract with Transcend Enterprise Migration Services to migrate the current Rackspace email to Microsoft 365, cost $18,675. Alderman Berry, your second motion is seconded by Mathis. City administrator, recognized.
Yes, in our last meeting, I had mentioned that we were going to bring to you a proposal or a quote from a vendor. This vendor's been properly vetted along in looking at all three bids. We believe that this one is by far the one that is going to provide us the best service, but along with that, the best product as far as migration. It's going to be almost seamless, all behind the scenes, if you will. So I would ask that you please let us do this. It is going to be something that is going to help our communication and our email, help our calendars, and it's just going to be an overall more effective for our departments.
Alderman Glick, you recognized.
I just want to congratulate Jason and city staff because a couple of years before I left employment with the city of Tullahoma, we started this project. I'm glad we're reaching an end to it. So.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
It's been ongoing since I've been here.
I'm excited.
Any further discussion? Ready to vote? Passes 7-0. Item number 2407, again for discussion only. To review the concerns of Tullahoma Utility Authority related to Title 10, Tullahoma Utilities Authority, Section 8, and Article 2 of the governing body, Section 14, and the charter revisions approved by the Board of Mayor and Alderman 12/2023. For discussion, Ms. Allmarker, this is on the agenda.
Actually, Mayor, I think you beat me to it, but I'll be happy to start. As Mr. Skelton and Mr. Northcutt advised, they had spoken with several of us board members about their concerns to our amendment to the charter, whereby it doesn't just affect the TUA board, it affects all of our board nominees and those who are serving at the will of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. It is my personal opinion, and this is what I shared with Mr. Skelton and Mr. Northcutt, that if you have the power to appoint, you must also have the power of removal. And I understand that it has been somewhat limited to removing only for cause. What is for cause? I don't know that anybody's ever removed for cause, so I don't know what that would be. But every board has different terms, but just since they're the ones who asked for this, I would like to just say a few words about the TUA board, and just for educational purposes, you guys I think already know this, but they serve 5-year terms. So we, or any one of us at any given time in our 4-year or 3-year term, may only have or 2-year term, forgive me, may only have the opportunity to appoint one of these individuals. Now, I don't foresee that the reason that we changed this has anything to do with the TUA board or any other board, but only as a way to just cut through some red tape should there be needed changes. And my question to this board is, what if a board as a whole engages in an unsuitable or illegal activity that they perhaps disagree with us? Oftentimes, Mr. Worsham and I disagree with what is appropriate, what can be done, and what can't be done. Those are conversations that are had often on this board, whether or not we can do something. As a quasi-governmental agency that is taxpayer funded, the reason that we still appoint those members is because we are the taxpayer's voice. We are the oversight. We are the quality control. And that is necessary to ensure the liberty for the people. And I'll give one instance of something that I'm a little concerned about, even with that board. Not that I would go removing members, but what about impact fees. If we were to impose an impact fee, any one of us who are up for election this next year might be removed for imposing that impact fee. But we have a quasi-governmental authority who has imposed impact fees on developers, which is by the way, a monetary charge imposed by a county or municipal government pursuant to any act of general or local application to regulate new development on real property. The amount of impact fees are related to the costs resulting from the new development, and the revenues for this fee are earmarked for investment in the area of the new development. This is pursuant to TCA 66-5-211. However, impact fees can only be instituted by municipal government. So at times, TUA acts as a quasi-governmental authority in this respect, although I have not seen anything come across my desk advising we can create impact fees. And at other times, they want to be completely autonomous and treated as a business. This is why they cannot be completely autonomous and treated as a business, because we must be the gatekeeper. We must make sure, and I believe that everybody on that board and everybody working I call them the Chick-fil-A of utility services. I think that the job that many of you do are stellar. But it is our job to make sure that what that board is doing is on the up and up. And I currently have questions. That's just one of which, but that is a reason why we must be a check on not only that board, but every other board in this town.
Any further discussion? Close the discussion. Moving on to resolution number 1977, a resolution by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen to support an amendment to the city charter regarding Title IX, election of Board of Education. Motion from Barry, seconded by Mann. And we'll have I believe that's your agenda item, Alderman Barry.
Yep, this takes care of moving the elections that are happening in 2025 to 2026 and aligning it with those, and extending those terms to the November election, starting this year. They'll still have the primaries. Moving forward, the primaries by state law, will have to be in August from this point forward. Hopefully we'll send that to the state and they'll come back and we'll all be happy in a couple months.
Any further discussion on adding this item to the charter? Ready to vote? Vote is passed 7-0. That there being no other new business, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen will be adjourned. I know. Good Lord.